Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Lorcana Craze. My name is Mike, and here we are. We're going to go over the technical side of the Brooms deck as promised. Sorry for the late posting. I've been sick the last few days, so really didn't feel up to doing anything. But here we are. Let's get into it. So, 60-card deck, very mid-range. It has some good early game stuff, some good late game stuff. For the early game, excuse me, we're looking for either Diablo Faithful Pet, which is great, runs off of the many Maleficents that are in the deck. Whenever I play a character named Maleficent, I can look at the top card of my deck. I can put it either on top or bottom. Being able to filter through the deck a little quicker is nice. It lets me find the pieces that I'm looking for to stay on curve, stay ahead of the game, and definitely interact with my opponent. And then also we have Captain Hook, Forceful Duelist. Really great one-drop, 1/2 Challenger 2. So when he's challenging, this character gets +2 strength. So yeah, that's when he is challenging. So when he attacks, not when he is attacked. So he's great if I'm going second. Allows me to put some pressure on the board, really makes the opponent think about what they're going to play before they play it. Hopefully throws them off a little bit. So just a really strong one-drop. Diablo is more for that turn 1. If I'm going first, I really want him out so that way I can just get ahead of the game and stay ahead. After that, we have our 2-drops. So we have the Madam Mim's Snake. She's just a strong card. Whenever you play her, you either banish her or you return another chosen character of yours to your hand. 3/3, really solid stat line. What's really good about her is I could use her to bounce like the Diablo back, the Captain Hook back. If I find that I don't really need either of them, but I really need the ink, I can just play her. She's a huge threat, bounce something back to my hand, and then ink it, and it just kind of works out. She also works out in the mid and late game too. I can bounce multiple different pieces back if I feel like they're in threat of getting wiped out, either by, like if I'm going against Ruby and they use Be Prepared, which is just destroy all characters on the board, or if they have something like the Grab Your Sword, and that's 2 damage to all of the opponent's creatures or characters. So she's just really strong, really good card. And then we go into, we have Jafar, the Royal Vizier. He's in there to either be able to shift a bigger Jafar in, make him cheaper, quicker, so I can get him off faster, or for evasives. Evasives are a big problem. If you don't have an option to take care of them in your deck, I highly suggest at least one. It's going to come up almost every match you play. There's going to be at least one evasive you're going to be staring down, and you want to be able to get them off the board. And then the other turn 2 is the first Broom. This Broom's strong. 2-drop. Inkable. 2/2. Whenever I play him, I can shuffle a card from any discard back into the player's deck. Now, some of you might be thinking, why would you want to do that to your opponent? Well, there's some new cards like Perdita and other things like Chernabog that interact with the discard. It allows them to either get out things for free, put them back in the deck, makes things cheaper. So there's a really good chance that they may have something in there that I don't want them to get back anytime soon. So it might be good to just shuffle it right back in. Or I'm running low on my interactions. I'm running low on my board wipe or my burn spells or just my draw spells, things that'll help me continue forward. So I can just play this character and put it back in my deck so that way I have that option again. After that, we'll go into the 3-drops. This is where you'll see the first Maleficent. She's great. 3-cost, inkable, 2/2. Whenever I play her, I may draw a card. So I just like to drop her. I'll activate that Diablo first, so that way I can look at what card I'm getting. If it's a card that I want, I'll keep it there and then draw it off the Maleficent. If not, I will go ahead and put it to the bottom and hope I draw something I'm actually looking for. After that, we'll go into Magic Broom, Big Sweeper, 1/5, 3 cost, inkable. When this character is at a location, it gets +2 strength. It's strong. It's strong. If you have him at that location, it becomes a 3/5, huge threat, not easily taken care of, and can definitely challenge into some of those smaller people that you really need out of the way, or just quest with him. Make them take care of him. Just kind of depends. And then we have the Magic Broom Industrial Model. Like I said, brooms, brooms, brooms. We just want to sweep that competition away. So with this one, 3 cost, inkable, 2/3. When I play him, chosen character gets resist 1 until the start of my next turn. That's huge. I have been able to save the Maleficent, the 2/2 Maleficent. I have been able to save multiple characters like the Mickey Mouse Wayward Sorcerer. He's huge. Want him to stay there. He just lets the brooms really go off. I'm kind of skipping ahead, but he's a 4 cost, inkable, 3/4. I can pay 1 ink less to play my broom characters. That's what this symbol means right here for those who didn't know. That means ink. So all my brooms cost cheaper. And then whenever one of my brooms is banished in a challenge, I can return it to my hand. So I just get that worth if I have those enter play effects. It allows me to bring more cards back from my discard, or allows me to give that resist more often. But the Mickey really allows me to just challenge into my opponent's board. Just keep that pressure up, because the more pressure I apply to them, the less likely they are to get ahead of me, or they're having to play things off curve or out of sequence for their deck. So that way I can kind of get them on tilt, if you will, and be able to take advantage of them not knowing how to handle it. He doesn't stay alive for long normally if I'm going against Ruby or Steel, but he's a really strong card. And then after that, it was my only 4-drop in the deck other than some actions, and that we'll go over in a little bit. After that, we have our 5-drop characters. We have the Magic Broom Swift Cleaner, 4/4 with Rush. Rush is important. You usually want to try to have at least one character with Rush in your deck. It's just a huge threat. They don't know when it's coming. They could exert one of their main characters to do something that they don't really want gone, but they feel it's safe, and you can drop this on the board and just challenge right into those characters. And then he has Clean This, Clean That. When you play this character, you may shuffle all broom cards from your discard into your deck. That's just to keep my tempo going. That's to keep me moving forward. So I really like using him to bring my brooms back if Mickey Mouse isn't on the field, bringing them back for me, or if they were all destroyed by a board wipe or other actions or songs. And then I really try to save the Bucket Brigade, their ability for my actions, for my songs, to bring back that smash, to bring back friends on the other side, keep me drawing, keep me relevant, keep me moving forward towards that 20 lore. After that, we have our other Maleficent that's in the deck, Mistress of All Evil. She's awesome. Not only is she a 2/3 solid stat line, she inks, she quests for 2, which is nice, but when this character quests, you may draw a card. That's huge. That's huge. More draw always means good things. And then she has Divination during your turn, and this is a new kind of ability for this set for Into the Inklands. During your turn, whenever you draw a card, you may move 1 damage counter from chosen character to chosen opposing character. It's awesome. I've used it. I've challenged into their board with something that wouldn't be banished, wouldn't die and go to the grave or the discard, and used her to move that damage to my opponents to take out those, like if they're playing the hey, that goes back to their hand when it's banished in a challenge, or just about anything else. It just really helps to be able to move that damage, ping them down, get them down faster. And then into the 6 cost, there's only one character, and that is the Magic Broom Dancing Duster. I wasn't really sure about this card at first. I didn't have it in the first couple iterations of the deck. I just didn't feel like it was strong enough, but I'll tell you what, it's huge. I only run 2 because there's that end late game situational thing. I need to slow them down for 1 more turn to pull off the victory. So 6 cost, uninkable, 3/3 stats, but it has Power Clean. When you play this character, if you have a sorcerer character in play, you may exert chosen opposing character that can't ready at the start of their next turn. That stops a lot of things. I can exert down one of their people that quests for big, quests for like 3 or 4, something that'll push them to victory, and I need to just slow them down that 1 more turn. And I know it has that, you have to have that sorcerer in play. The beauty about this deck is if it's not a Broom, it's a sorcerer. Other than Diablo and Captain Hook, which are just my early games, they usually end up ink in the mid-late game. They don't really last past turn 3 or 4. But Madam Mim Snake, sorcerer. Jafar, sorcerer. Maleficent, both iterations are sorcerers. Same with the Mickey Mouse. Same with my big Jafar. I have just plenty of sorcerers to make that happen. And I'll tell you what, 9 times out of 10, its ability has gone off every time I've played it. I've never really had to worry about, do I have a sorcerer in play? Can I really get this ability off? It's just a fantastic card. Does wonders. And then we have Jafar, Striking Illusionist. He's really good. There's a whole deck revolving around him right now. It's crazy amounts of lore that you can gain in 1 turn. He's just a crazy card. 7 cost, inkable, 4/5 stats, shift 5, so I can pay 5 ink to play it on top of a character named Jafar. That's why we run 4 of the 2-drop Jafars, so that way we can get him out on turn 5 before our opponents can really do anything. Getting him out 2 turns earlier is nice because we can avoid the be prepared for at least a couple turns. He's too big for grab your sword to take him down, but he does perish to Along Came Zeus, and then after that they just have to put multiple things into him to get rid of him or bounce him to my hand. Kind of just depends on the inks I'm going against. What makes him really great, not only does he have evasive, but he also has power beyond measure. During your turn, while this character is exerted, and that means tapped for all the Magic Watchers out there, whenever you draw a card, you gain a lore. It's just good. It's just good. Anytime I'm drawing cards, as long as he's exerted, I'm gaining that passive lore, and that just pushes me towards that victory. He's wonderful in the late game if I'm just like 3 or 4 behind, and I'm really trying to just push forward and get there. He comes in real handy. So that's the characters I have. Most of them I have 4 drops of. If I don't, it's either because, like with the 3 Madam Mim Snakes, the 3 Magic Broom Swift Cleaners, I just didn't feel I needed 4 of them. With the Swift Cleaners, I was worried about my uninkable ratio. As you can see over here, I have 49 cards that can be inked and 11 that cannot be inked. I try to keep that balance, a little on the low side, try to be less than 25% of the deck, so that way I don't have those times where my opening hand is full of uninkables, or I mulligan and draw a bunch of uninkables. I want to be able to still ink, stay on curve, and stay relevant in the match. So, and then the ones that I have 2 of, Magic Broom, Dancing Duster, I really only feel like I only need 2. 4, I think, is too much. He's just there as a situational. Do I need him at the end? Usually I end up needing him because they'll play something really big, like Ursula, the new Ursula, that whenever she sings a song, it duplicates. You can sing it again. Or the big Elsa. There are multiple different endgame threats that I may need to exert. Or just the Maui, the Rush Maui. He's reckless in Rush, but he's huge, and he pretty much one-shots anything I have So I may want to exert him down so that way I can keep something else open and available. And then with Maleficent, Mistress of All Evil, and Jafar, Striking Illusionist, I got lucky. This is what I have. I don't have any more of them. I probably won't buy any more of them. They're a little on the expensive side, with Jafar being at $26 right now. Maleficent's not as bad at $6, but honestly, 2 and 2, I just really don't see the reason for it. So after that, that's all the characters. We're going to go into the actions. So I only have 3 actions, and that's 3 copies of Smash. It's a good card. 3 cost inkable, deal 3 damage to chosen character. It's there to take out some of those early game threats. Like the new Ursula, she only has 3 willpower, so I can take her down immediately. I can also use Smash against, like, say, if they're playing Maleficent, Mistress of All Evil, anything really that has 3 willpower, that's really strong, has a really good ability. That's why those are there. I only opted for 3. I didn't feel like I needed 4 because of some of the other removal that I have. So, into the songs. Now, songs are actions, but you can sing them. A character can sing them as long as they have either a singer ability of the card's cost. So, if they have, like, Singer 3, they could sing Friends on the Other Side, because it's a 3 cost card. So, singing's really good. If you want to keep your ink open for what you may draw to be able to play more. I don't always sing them. Sometimes it's better to quest or challenge with the characters instead of singing. So it just all depends on the situation. But this card, super strong. Anybody who's playing Amethyst is pretty much playing at least 3 of these. And it's just draw 2 cards. Card draw is huge. The more cards you got, the more you can do, the more situations you can get yourself out of. So it's just a good card, and as you can see, I'm running that 4 spot. I want 4 of them. And then I've got 3 and then Along Came Zeus. It's a good card. It's a wonderful card. I play it not only because it's a fantastic card, but I like singing it every time I play it. You know, I'll exert my 4, but like, I exert 4, and then Along Came Zeus, and just touch whatever card I'm targeting. It's fantastic. Good card, though. Deal 5 damage to chosen character or location. It's huge. It takes down so many threats. Locations are good. They have really, really found their places amongst Lorcana. Really found their places amongst some of the top decks. And a lot of these locations, when they hit the field, you need to get rid of them as fast as possible. You can't let them sit for too long. After that, have Grab Your Sword. I'm running Steel. Gotta run Grab Your Sword. 1, I can sing it, so it's great. Be able to not have to exert that 5 ink. And then it's deal 2 damage to each opposing character. It doesn't end a lot of things, but because my characters are on the lower end strength-wise, so you have like Diablo at 2 strength, Mim at 3, Jafar at 3. Really, I don't go above 3 except for with the Jafar Striking Illusionist and the Magic Broom Swift Cleaner. Everything else is either 3 or less. So I want to be able to, do that 2 damage to all the board, and then I can actually challenge into it and only have to commit 1 character as opposed to having to do 2 or more. Just makes it a lot easier. And then finally, we have the only location in the deck. It's the only one that matters. The Sorcerer's Tower. What's a Broom deck without the Sorcerer's Tower? It's fantastic. 3 cost inkable, so if I don't need it, I can ink it. It costs 2 to move to the location. That's what this here is. And then it has 7 willpower, so it can take 7 damage before it is discarded. What's great is Broom Closet. Your character's named Magic Broom may move here for free. It's huge. It's huge. I do not have to worry about keeping ink aside to move them. I can just put them there. And then characters get +1 lore while here. So that means they can quest for 1 extra. And that's what this symbol means right here. So I have a lot of those cards. If you notice, a lot of my characters do not quest for a lot. Diablo's 1, Mim 1, Jafar 1. So most of them got Mickey at 2, Maleficent at 2, this Jafar's at 1, and then the rest of them are at 1 except for the Swift Cleaner that is at 2. So the Sorcerer's Tower, getting everything I can there is huge. I'm able to play 2, 3, 4 Brooms in a turn, get them all to that location. They survive that turn. That next turn, I am just questing for a lot. It seems to do pretty well right now. I have a pretty good win rate with it. I win about half of the games I play, which is good. It does very well against like Ruby Steel pirates. It does really good against character-heavy decks. It does struggle against some of the other decks like Emerald, Amethyst Bounce. It's just too much interruption to be able to really get going because the deck really relies on being able to stay on curve and fill the board and keep that board full. Keep my hand full, keep the board full, and just keep applying pressure. So, as you can see, we have a good amount of 1s, 2s, 3 is where we really shine. That's where we're really starting. And then as we get into the late game, we have some 4s and 5s, and then our 6 and our 7s. So I feel that the deck is pretty good. It's doing pretty well. So we'll see how it goes. I'll be playing at my local card shop on Thursday. So hopefully I'll have some good news for everybody. And then I most likely will be playing this deck on Friday. Every Friday, I join the Discord for Citizens of Lorcana, which is a fantastic podcast. Covers a wide range of things. It's good for seasoned players. It's great for new players. They go over a lot of terminology that you may not know. They have a lot of guests that come on and talk about deck building or how to play or even how to create content and get your name out there. They just really cover everything in such a way. It's entertaining. It's fun. I discovered them a little late in the game, and I started at their very beginning. So I discovered them a few months ago, and I started at their very first episode, and I was hooked. I binged it for 2 weeks till I finally caught up. It was awesome. And so, yeah, if anybody's interested in ever going online and playing some online multiplayer via webcam with paper product, we don't really play digitally. We like to really try to play with what we have, so that way it gives you good practice. It gives you, just good practice. So that way, whenever you go to your local tournaments or you go to play with friends, you have that more experience to do well and enjoy the game more. And we try to just keep it nice, family-friendly. They are really, really just awesome community. They're building something amazing at the Citizens of Lorcana. So if you haven't heard of them, you haven't heard their podcast, I really suggest checking them out there, or at least joining the Discord, joining the conversation. And I hope to see some of you on Friday, maybe. If you don't have any product, that's fine. If you don't really have any cards to play with, that's fine. You can always just come in, hang out, talk to me, talk to whoever else is playing at the time, and just have a good afternoon with it. I'll be on Friday from 2 o'clock in the afternoon to about 4 or 5 in the afternoon, and that is Eastern Standard Time. So for those who are listening that are not in Eastern Time, yep, that's when I will be on. So thank you all for joining me. I know this is kind of a shorter video. I just wanted to kind of briefly go over the deck, show you some of my favorite things about it. And honestly, I'd like to hear what you all think about it. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff. All the things that everybody in every YouTube video asks you to do. But really, I would love to see your comments the most. Please tell me what you think of the deck, and If you have any questions about it, I will happily answer them. Or if you have any suggestions on how to potentially make it better, I'm all for it. I would love your all's input. So, again, thank you all for joining me at Lorcana Craze, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day, evening, morning, afternoon, whatever time it is you're actually watching this video. Just enjoy yourself.